connected.
Mr. Secretary, I'm getting the sense that the President of the United States is getting fed up with Vladimir Putin.
You just heard it for yourselves. July the 2nd, 2025. Trump is fed up with Putin. So since we're fed up, we'll just have no sanctions and pull the weapons supply from Ukraine. That's how we show we're fed up with Putin. So ladies and gentlemen, stand behind 100% that sabotage is happening right now to the Ukrainian military and to the Ukrainian people. Additionally, Fox News today confirming it with 2 different video clips, and I'm going to show you those right now. And, you know, last night we were covering this. It was kind of breaking news, but today we're getting all of the responses that are coming in from Ukraine. We're getting responses that are coming in from the United States. We're getting responses from Russia and Peskov speaking about this. So it's time to dive in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Let's go. First of all, sabotage, no question. But here today, on the morning news in the United States, on Fox, both of those on Fox News, guys, Brian Kilmeade speaking to Mark Rutte, the Secretary General of NATO, and additionally, Maria Bartiromo speaking to the U.S. Ambassador to NATO. Out of both of these clips, you will learn everything that you need to know and why it looks like U.S. is out the door. Here we go.
How do you feel about the report today that the U.S. Is stopping shipments of Patriots and some artillery because they say we're running short of it for our own arsenal? Have you heard about that directly from the president and from the Secretary of Defense, or are you just reading about it like I am?
No, these reports are really new.
Pause. There you go. NATO does not even know that the United States was pausing the supply.
And I totally understand that the US always has to make sure that their own interests are covered. But when it comes to Ukraine, in the short term, Ukraine cannot do without all the support it can get when it gets to ammunition and to air defense systems. And last week, the President and President Zelensky had a very good discussion, particularly focusing on air defense systems. So, yes, I understand the US has to take care of its stockpiles, and at the same time, we have to allow for some flexibility here.
You see, we went from having a great conversation last week. Remember at the NATO summit at The Hague, and Trump, oh yeah, I like Zelensky. He's really nice this time. And yeah, we're going to work on some Patriot sales. You know, I think that's possible. And here now, a week later, no sanctions against Russia, not anytime soon. Secondly, let's just go ahead and stop the supply of weapons that are in the pipeline.
Europeans, in the meantime, are really stepping up. They have now committed 35 billion for Ukraine this year. So when it comes to the burden shift from the US to Europe, that's taking place. But we cannot do without the practical US support. This is also in the US interest for Ukraine not to lose this war and having a huge Russia now on the border of Europe.
Here, Rutte nailing it. You know, we talk about the America First policy, and you're going to hear that from the ambassador to NATO in just a minute with Maria Bartiromo. But, you know, it's okay for the United States to go bomb Iran, and that's America First. It's okay for the United States to do massive arms shipments and sales to Israel, and that's America First. But we have a security agreement and signed historically with Ukraine for situations just like this. And not only do we abandon every agreement we've had, we now fight against sanctions against the invader Putin, and we pause weapons flow. Yeah, that's not America first. That's America last. That's not projecting strength. That's projecting weakness. They are completely backwards in Washington, D.C.
And of course, a secure Europe also means a secure U.S. So this is all completely connected.
Mr. Secretary, I'm getting the sense that the President of the United States is getting fed up with Vladimir Putin.
Oh, my goodness. Brian Kilmeade, sorry, sir. You do not get fed up with Vladimir Putin when you withhold sanctions, you never speak ill of him, and you cut weapons to the nation that he is invading. And you're fed up with Putin?
He's given him a lot of chances, take some political hits, giving him an opening. And I think that Putin is not taking advantage of that opening for peace. Do you think the president's getting fed up?
Well, I'm not going to speak for the president, but let
No.
me say that I commend him for the fact that he broke the deadlock with Vladimir Putin when he came into office. He was the only one who could do this. So.
All right, Ruti, that's enough of you, sir, because he's not the only one that can break the deadlock. Yesterday, the president of France, Macron, was speaking with President Vladimir Putin. So get off of that. And additionally, of course, Ruti not going to say anything because he's too busy referencing to Trump as daddy. So let's go to the next clip now. And this is the ambassador of upper right here. This is the ambassador to NATO from the United States. Not one word about Ukraine.
Much to talk about with you just a week after your time with President Trump at the NATO meeting. But first, give us your reaction to the U.S. holding back now on these weapons to Ukraine.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on, Maria.
Deflection.
I think the most important thing to know is that this is what America First looks like. We first have to take care of the United States needs. And this is something the Pentagon does all the time, make sure that the United States has the strategic defense capabilities necessary to project power.
To project power. You project power by not sanctioning the evil invading terrorist of Vladimir Putin, and you project power by pulling weapons from the nation that you were in agreement with, while at the same time massive arms sales to Israel and bombing Iran, calling it America First.
And so we have to make sure that we have enough Patriot missiles and we have enough air defense. And
yeah, for sure, we need a lot of Patriots, and I'm not against the United States being fully loaded with what we need defensively. But the last time I checked, there are no Kinjals and there are no rockets flying over Colorado.
all the things that we need to ensure our own success on the battlefield, wherever that battlefield might be.
So that battlefield is not Ukraine. That battlefield is obviously the Middle East. And for sure, there is an Iran-Israel 2.0 coming.
Saw our great capabilities on the B-2 bombers when they dropped the precision-guided bunker busters on Iran. And so, you know, the world wants that. We saw that with our NATO allies last week.
Sorry, the world wants what? The world wants to show how good we are dropping our bunker busters on Iran? That's great. Why don't the world see how good we are to support a nation that is fighting for their existence, with whom we have agreements with, and now the administration loves Vladimir Putin so much that we're not going to sanction and we're going to pull weapons.
They want to be allied with us so that we can bring those capabilities.
Who wants to be allied with us? We break
just
promises.
need to make sure that we
I'm
have
sick
what
of
we
listening
need
to this guy.
at any time to
I'm sorry.
deter.
I'm frustrated. I'm sick of listening to him. Never mentions Ukraine. I'm getting ready to have a Johnny Pierce rant. It's so ridiculous. Now, I can also confirm to you from Ukraine, there was no warning. Ukrainian officials were caught off guard by Washington's decision to suspend military aid to Kyiv. The Washington Post writes, publication requested comments from some of them, but they remained silent or refused to comment. It is true. We're now trying to find out from the Americans what is really going on. Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine today summoned the senior official of the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv to discuss military assistance and protection of the United States. What is going on? They had no idea. Here's the Ukrainian reality, ladies and gentlemen, just from June. Patriot missiles protect Ukraine from Russian ballistic missiles. Other air defense components are critical as well. In just June of 2025, the month that just closed, 8 Kinjal missiles, 14 Iskander missiles, 93 X-101s, 12 caliber, 27 Iskander K, 13 guided aviation missiles, 2,453 Shaheeds, 659 reconnaissance drones, 1,479 drones of other types over 29 days that it was recorded. It's 30 days in June, but that's 29 days of statistics. Yeah. Don't think any of that's flying over Nashville, Tennessee. It is in our best interest to stand with Ukraine. It's in the stability of the world to stand with Ukraine. It is America first by standing with Ukraine. Of course, we now hear the official response from Dmitry Peskov today. Quote, wise decisions on the part of the United States, as they must resolve to take care of their internal issues. Additionally, continued moves like this will only bring this special military operation to a conclusion much more rapidly. So basically, kudos from Putin, because this is Peskov, his official spokesperson, directly to Donald Trump. No change. Macron briefs Zelensky after the call. French President Emmanuel Macron, after a telephone conversation with President Putin, communicated with Zelensky. Macron informed Zelensky that Putin's position on ending the war in Ukraine has not changed, and Macron told Zelensky that the Russian president was not ready to conclude a truce on Kyiv's terms. Of course not. That was shared with Zelensky before Zelensky knew about the weapons not coming. Unbelievable. And yes, Ukraine still has weapons there. You have to understand it's a pipeline flow, but it's a serious problem. So Macron communicating with Zelensky, Putin's message. Just, this is sabotage of Ukraine. There's no other way to look at it. So what can we do? You're out there today, you're watching the video, you're asking, Greg, what on earth can we do as people of this world to stand with Ukraine? We are partnering together with Professor Gertis. The link is right in the description, right at the top. Just the giving link is there. We are purchasing 5 vampire drones, life-giving drones, to help Ukraine, to help the 100th Mechanized. This is a partnership between Professor Gertis, between Project Konstantin, and also between myself and Zhenya and our work in Ukraine. This is the project. You can go here and donate. So far, in 363 donations, we're at 26,000 euro out of the 78,500 euro goal, and we are well on our way. Listen, it only takes 100,000 views on this video and everybody giving $1 will make it happen. Thank you. We're bringing life to Ukraine. These are the vampires, the most important things Ukraine needs right now on the front. Let's do our best. The world may sabotage Ukraine, and what I mean, led by Donald Trump and his madness, but the people of the world will not. We stand together with Ukraine until victory. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for helping. Thank you for wanting to understand truth and reality and allowing us to speak that to you and trusting us to bring it to you. You guys be blessed. We'll be back soon. A lot unfolding today.